I'm still in Vancouver, and it just happened 2 hours ago, not too long ago, and I'm still shaking because I was surrounded by multiple Calistanis who acted like thugs, and they surrounded me and they threatened violence and they got physical with me. They grabbed my phone out of my hand in front of police, by the way. And this has been very stressful for me because this was done by an individual who has been harassing me for a very long time online, using dehumanizing language against me, doxing my whereabouts. And I've been covering the Khalistan protests in Canada, US, UK, New Zealand since last year. I've been about 30 of their events, and my only goal is to do independent journalism and record and report what's going on. And because I'm editorially independent, this frustrates some people. They want to influence me, they want to buy me, they want to, if they can't buy it, they want to threaten violence towards me. And that's what this individual did. And he's not even a Canadian citizen. He is from the UK. He is in Canada, threatening me, a Canadian citizen, trying to do his job. And yeah, I was just there reporting on the event. Khalistanis gathered to honor their so-called martyrs, including the assassins of Indira Gandhi and the suicide bombers, child suicide bombers. And I was reporting on that. This was a public event on a public location, and I was within my rights to do what I was doing. But there was this one individual who was not even a Canadian citizen. He came up to me and started asking me questions. He was very close to my face, and I said, listen, if you want to have a conversation, sure, let's talk, but you need to keep your distance. And he would keep saying, let's go around the corner, let's go around the corner, I'll show you around the corner if you're not scared. And I told him, yeah, I'm not scared, but let's speak here. Let's, if you want to say something, if because I'm an independent journalist, I have to be accountable. I accept challenges, and I'm okay with conversations. But this individual, this was not a conversation. He keeps coming at my face, very close proximity. I'm stepping one step back, he's stepping forward. I'm telling him to keep his distance. He's not keeping his distance. He's asking loaded questions and won't even allow me to answer, interrupting, advancing towards me, keeping his finger and hands towards my face. This is becoming very threatening. And then all of a sudden, I had 2, 3 people surrounding me with the same physical closeness. Like I have nowhere to go, and they're saying, "So you're talking about Sikhs, huh?" And at that moment, I was recording secretly from my main camera because I felt that something physical is about to happen. So I was recording, but to get a better view, I started recording from my phone as well. And as soon as I start recording, they turn their faces away. They are scared. But this one individual, he keeps walking towards me. I walk away, he keeps walking. And then eventually he grabbed my phone out of my hand for a moment. It stopped my recording. And when I turned back on, the police was engaging with him and telling him to stop his harassing behavior. Being allowed to walk free is a big disappointment. I think he should be deported back to UK. He's a foreign national. He's not a citizen of Canada. What is he doing interfering with my job? Interfering with the journalism of a Canadian citizen? This is unacceptable. He should be deported.
Right.
His harassment continued even after police warned him. And I have more footage I'm about to upload on my channel. He continued following me throughout the parade. I'm stopping, he stops. I keep walking, he keeps walking. I distance myself, and then I just turn around. He's standing right behind me. I go walk across the street. He comes near, standing I get away from the event. He's getting away from the event with me. And then eventually I have to call 911 and be like, hey, this behavior is continuing, and officers on the ground may not be aware, but I have filed police reports about this guy before. So please let them know. And officers came and they took notes for the police report further, and then they escorted me to safety. Cop on a bicycle, he followed me to the train station, and that's how I departed from the area. But and now online they are trying to frame it as, oh, Mocha is afraid of conversation, or they are always resorting to disinformation, and they are trying to portray me as someone who's afraid to have conversation when I'm being assaulted, I'm being threatened, I'm being surrounded, my phone is being grabbed from my hand. That's not how you have a conversation. You don't go up to someone's face and don't give them any space, and you keep talking and not letting them that's not conversation. Very uncivilized. And yeah, it has quite shaken me, because headed by Seeks for Justice, they are the ones organizing, and it's usually, most of the time, it's the same people attending these protests, whether it be in Ontario, British Columbia, US, UK, New Zealand. They traveled all together to New Zealand, and then they mobilize people to come from local gurdwaras, and to create a little bit of a crowd. But uh, that's the ground. They do the groundwork basically. But there are bigger political organizations like the World Sikh Organization, which is based in Canada, and they have a troubled history, and they do the political cover in Canada. Their executives are, or were, MPs in Canada. Their children are MPs or ministers or in critical positions, and they have spread across Canadian institutions. And so they do the political cover. And, you know, because of the tensions between Canada and India, it's very highly political subject. But I feel like we are disregarding what's happening on the ground, what these people are saying, how they're exercising their free speech, while they are exercising by celebrating the assassins of Indira Gandhi and saying that they are going to ambush and kill India's Prime Minister Modi at the G7. Sorry, not Modi. They add politics at the end. Yes, they're going to ambush and kill Indian Prime Minister Modi's politics at G7. And I asked them, how are you going to do that? Are you going to kill his politics the same way you killed Indira Gandhi's politics? Because the assassins, they refer to them as their forefathers. They say, we are the descendants of the killers of Indira Gandhi, of the suicide bomber that killed Punjab's chief minister. And they are glorifying these acts of violence. I have covered with my camera all of these events, but there's a reluctance on part of Canadian politicians to criticize or speak out against or distance themselves from such groups. For example, we had the Conservative leader, Pierre Poilievre, and the NDP, even the Liberal MPs, attending an event recently, a Nagar Kirtan in Surrey, BC, just last month, where they shared the stage with Santokh Singh Kela. This event was a big event, lots of Khalistan influence. And in that event, they had Santokh Singh Kela, the formerly convicted Sikh Canadian who conspired to blow up an airplane departing from JFK, Air India Flight 112. And Mr. Santokh, he was giving a speech with an axe on his hand, a metal axe, and he's wearing Babar Khalsa insignia. His daughter refers to him as an Jatata of Babar Khalsa, although he does not give a straight answer. When I challenged him, I did interview him, and he was sentenced to life in prison by a Canadian court, but 6 years later he was let go, and he was declared innocent. But if, as a citizen, I expect my representatives to distance themselves from extremists, from people with troubled history, from people giving fiery speeches on a stage, wearing a banned terrorist organization's insignia, Babar Khalsa. And it appears that because of the lack of media coverage or lack of awareness on part of Canadian population, these politicians are getting away with their participation at these events. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to raise awareness so that there is accountability.